Tetsuya, Tetsuya! A small haired-colored girl called, chasing a taller boy. Please wait for me. The boy had black hair and thin eyes like his mother. He kept walking away from the girl, not even sparing a glimpse at her. Brother, the girl yelled, about to cry. Tetsuya stopped walking. The girl used this opportunity to catch up to him. Tetsuya, please talk to me. What did I do wrong? She sniffed, clinging onto his sleeve of his dark blue yukata. Brother, answer me. Please, brother. I'm not your brother anymore, he coldly said, throwing the colored-eyed girl against the wall. She yelped, crying. I never wanted this. Oh, shit. I never wanted this, she managed to say through tears and heavy breaths. I never asked to be the wise saint. And I never asked for you to be born. Tetsuya gritted his teeth, walking away again. Leave me alone, Yin. I was woken up by Kayaka, asking for food. I groaned, sitting up and checking the time on my pocket watch. 8:30 a.m. Just 5 more minutes. I buried myself inside the futon. I want to eat something, Kayaka whined, pushing the covers off me. All right, I'll get up, I said, kicking my legs. We made our bags and ordered the room. Then we went to the receptionist to leave our key, but the receptionist wasn't there. Excuse me, I called out. I came to leave my room key. No one answered. I will leave it on the counter, I said to no one, leaving the key and walking out. Thank you for your hospitality. That morning was slightly cold, oddly silent. People were opening their shops and others were probably still asleep. Good morning, Tanjiro, someone said. She was the hospital receptionist. Morning, Miss Wadabe, a boy replied happily. He was moving a cart with 2 big loads of coal and 2 children. Selling your coal early, I see, Miss Wadabe said. Yes, ma'am, Tanjiro nodded. I will buy some. Let me get my money bag. The receptionist went inside her hotel, but she stopped when she saw me. Oh, good morning. Good morning. I left the room key on the counter and I signed myself off. I bowed, smiling warmly. Thank you for your hospitality. What a formal little lady. Miss Wababe rested a hand at the side of her face. Be careful, both of you. Thank you, ma'am. We will. Kayaka and I bowed and waved the woman goodbye. As we walked away from the hotel, I saw the cold boy staring at me intensely. Did he recognize me? No, I don't think so. I don't remember his face. I want to eat, Kayaka pouted, tugging on my kimono. Okay, I get it, I groaned. Let's get meat cheese. Wait, a male voice called, turning around, seeing the coal kid running at me while still moving around his cart. When he finally reached me, he stopped the cart. Nii-chan, be careful, one of the kids on the cart protested. May I help you? I asked politely. Cool kid stuttered and fidgeted a bit before composing himself again. You're not from Okiyama, right? He asked. No, we're not. I shook my head. We just arrived yesterday. I could tell, he smiled. This place is small, so it's easy to recognize a new face, so what brought you here? We wanted to explore new places, I replied, half lying. I was thinking on hiking the mountain. You definitely should, Cool Boy encouraged. During autumn and spring, the mountains has an amazing view. I'll make sure to see it myself, I smiled. After that, we just smiled at each other for a little. A couple of seconds later, the red-haired boy jolted, then exchanged his hand. My name's Tanjiro Kamado. My name is Yin Kaduku, and this is Kayaka Doku. I shook his hand, then mentioned at the black-haired boy staring at Tanjiro. Nice to meet you, Kayaka. Tanjiro crouched, smiling warmly at Kayaka. Kayaka looked at me before shyly approaching Tanjiro. Who are they? Kayaka asked, pointing at the kids in the cart. Don't point at people, Kayaka. That's rude, I scolded. Don't worry. Tanjiro got up, smiling at me. Those are my younger siblings, Hanako and Shinjiro. Both kids got off the cart and started inspecting Kayaka, who stared still. Hanako, the girl, gasped when she touched Kayaku's yakata. Ah, so soft. How old are you? Shinkuru asked. I'm 6. Kayaku replied shyly. Whoa, you're the same age as us. Hanako gasped again. Kayaku smiled triumphantly before looking at his stomach and whimpering at me. I'm hungry. How about you accompany us for dinner, Yin? Kayaku? Tanjiro suggested. There's no need for that, I bowed. We don't want to intrude your home. You won't intrude. Guests are always welcome, Tanjiro said. Come on, Kayaku. My brother's really fast with the cart, Shinjiro said, grabbing Kayaka's hand and pulling him towards the cart. I guess we accept. I sighed in defeat, helping Kayaka get inside the cart, then Tanjiro helped me. Hold on tight, Tanjiro announced before speeding off to the mountain. I yelped and slightly tilted backwards in surprise. Tanjiro laughed at my actions. First time in a cart? Actually, yes, I replied, holding on to the cart. Tanjiro huffed in surprise. Where are you from? I thought about that question a bit. It wouldn't hurt to tell him, right? He do. Never been there, Tanjiro says. How is it? It's so big. I forgot it's Edo and I said it wrong. Sorry, it's Edo. Kayaka smiles, opening his arms. The buildings are really tall, there's lights everywhere, and there's so many stores with tons of stuff. Kayaka, mind your own business, I pouted. He sticks his tongue at me. You two are siblings? Tanjiro asks. He's my nephew, I replied. My mother left me, so Hayo has been taking care of me all this time. Kayaka smiled. Hayo, Tanjiro hummed. Kayaka, I whispered / yelled at Kayaka nervously, then cleared my throat, looking back at Tanjiro. My last name used to be Hanao, but I changed it. I see. Tanjiro felt the awkward tension, so he decided to change the subject. Good thing we are in autumn. There's not much snow and easy to move the cart around. Wait, you live in the mountain? I asked, surprised. Yep. The red-haired boy smiled, huffing more. It's really tiring when you go up the mountain, but since I go to the village nearby every day, I get used to it. Wow, I breathed out. It's my duty as the eldest son, after all, Tanjiro said proudly. You're the eldest? I asked. Yes, I'm 13, Tanjiro nodded. What about you? I'm 13 as well, I smiled. And what about your siblings? Are you the eldest one? Tanjiro asked. I looked away, slightly lightened. Youngest. The last one, to be precise. Last one? Tanjiro smiled sweetly. You're the smallest one in the family. That's adorable. No, I'm not. I patted at him. Tanjiro laughed again. He kept walking and joking on the way to his home. As far as I knew, Tanjiro was sweet, kind-hearted, and a hard-working boy, with a forehead as big as his heart. He gave off this peaceful aura that I couldn't help but feel warm and safe around him. Words can't describe how wonderful and warm his presence feels. We arrived at a small house. There was a boy chopping down wood and a girl coming from the woods, carrying a small kid on her back. It was so heartwarming, so wholesome, too wonderful to be real. Tanjiro, you're home early, a woman explained from the porch of the house. She ran where Tanjiro was. You still have your coal? Did no one need coal? What? Oh! I waved my hand shyly. She waved her hand back, smiling at me, then Tanjiro. So, you finally got a girlfriend, Tanjiro. The woman hugged Tanjiro. And such a beautiful one. I'm so proud of you. Excuse me, ma'am, but I'm only a traveler. Kamado had the kindness to invite me to your lovely home, I bowed, getting Kayaka and myself out of the cart. My name's Kabuku Yin, and this is Kabuku Kayaka, my nephew. No need to be so formal, dear. She took my hands. And I'm Tanjiro's mother, Kai Kamado. Pleasure to meet you. The pleasure is mine, I smiled at her. Come in, please. It's cold outside. She ushered me and Kayaka inside. Despite the cold, it was rather warm inside Tanjiro's house. Real warm. Pardon the intrusion, I said, taking off my sandals and placing them at the side of the door. Oh my God, Kayaka doing so. Please make yourself at home while we prepare dinner, Kai said, walking into the kitchen. I will help then. I left my bags in the corner and walked into the kitchen, then with Tanjiro's mother. It's the least I can do for what you're doing for us. Kayaku, come play with us. Shiraku called from outside. Kayaka wasted no time to run outside and see his new friend. What will I do? I asked, standing at the entrance of the kitchen. Tanjiro's mother was about to object to letting me help, but my eyes were determined enough, and so was my entire self, so she decided to let me help. You can cut the vegetables, dear. Kai gave me a knife and a cutting table. I grabbed the utensils and began cutting the vegetables. They weren't perfect, but either way, they weren't worse. I could see Kayaka taking small glimpses at my hands. At one point, she held my hand in hers. Your hands are really soft, Kai mumbled, inspecting my hands carefully. I guess you haven't used them much. Indeed, I haven't. I shook my head. My life was a privileged one. You see, I only held objects no heavier than a teapot, and no coarse than a harp string. Oh my, Kai said, walking towards the pot and stirring its contents. Mind telling me more? Of course, if you're okay with it. I don't know why. I don't know how much I said, but I told her most of my story to Kai. Abuse, right? To give away my entire life to a complete stranger. In my defense, something about Kai made me feel safe, like Tanjiro. But it was more sweet and more motherly safe. Why were the Komodos so bright and kind-hearted? The world didn't deserve them. It must have been a hard journey for you and Kayaka, Kai said with sympathetic eyes. She was stirring the food while I placed the dishes on the table. I can't imagine myself at your age dealing with a burden like that. And I'm better now. There's no regret in my decisions. I smiled kindly, passing the last bowl. I peeked my head outside the house. Tanjiro, kids, dinner's ready. Thank you, Tanjiro smiled, leaving a heavy load of chopped wood in a pile walking towards the house. We're starving, Kayaka said, Shiraku agreeing. You sound like a married woman, dear. Kai laughed sweetly. I blushed, covering my face. It's not like that, ma'am. I wouldn't mind hearing it again someday soon, she added. Miss Komodo! I blushed harder, making Kai laugh even more. During dinner, I met the remaining Komodos. Nezuko, a beautiful young lady. I'm going to butcher these names, sorry. Rukata, the smallest kid. Teiko, the wood-chopping boy. All of them combined ration to family in some way. Tanjiro finished his food. He seemed really satisfied, so did the littler ones. I was also glad and satisfied with what we ate. The flavor was different than the food I ate. Different in a good way. Heyo, can I see the forest? Kayaka asked excitedly, tugging on my sleeve. Not by yourself, young man, I said. Tanjiro, why don't you take Yin and our siblings to the forest? Nezuko asked. Mom and I will take care of cleaning up. Wait, this is too... Go ahead, sweetie. Kai waved me off, smiling. It's okay, Yin-san. Nezuko pumped. You can go and explore. Thank you once again, I said, standing up and bowing at them. We're going too, Hanako and Shinjiro said at the same time. Sure, Tanjiro smiled, putting Hanako on his back. Shinjiro and Teiko held each other's hands and dragged me to the forest. Come on, Yin. Tanjiro and I ran at the forest, both of us with children in our backs. Of course, Tanjiro had better stamina than me. I was rather frail. I disliked that. Tinko was really clingy to me, which made Kayaka a bit jealous. Kayaka was pretty used to me spoiling him, and only him. While the kids were doing flower crowns and playing in the bushes, Tanjiro listened to my plant facts. I read a lot about botanistics and medicinal plants, so I was really happy to be in a forest. It was incredible how Tanjiro didn't listen did listen to every word I said. He was so interested. Slowly, fog appeared in the forest. The sun made the fog shine like water droplets in a spider web. The autumn colors fit the suns and made a wonderful spectacle. The kids screamed in joy, content about the fog. Their laughs increased, and so did their playing. I sat down, and now the wet grass was wetting my kimono. But who cares? Is this what you talked about earlier? I asked in awe, not taking my eyes off the foggy forest. I heard Tanja hum intrusively. It's so beautiful, Tanjiro said, scooting closer to me. More than that. I looked at the top of the trees, closing my eyes. The peaceful moment was cut off by Kayaka calling Tanjiro. Tanjiro, look, I caught a frog. Tanjiro looked at Kayaka with a warm smile. This is such a nice little frog, Kayaka. Kayaka giggled and let the frog go, and went to chase Shinjuku. Our careless hours of playing Tanjiro and I took the kids home so Tanjiro could show me and Kayaka around town. Tanjiro brought his cart and Kayaka quickly hopped inside. I tried doing the same, but Tanjiro helped me. I looked at him, wondering why he did that. He smiled at me. Tanjiro took us to many places. He was really patient with each of Kayaka's questions, and Kayaka stuck to Tanjiro more. I guess Kayaka saw Tanjiro as a fatherly figure, since Kayaka's father left him when he was no more than 2 years old. He really needed a dad in his life. I looked at both of them, slightly smiling. We just met these people, but we feel so comfortable around them, as if we have known each other for ages. And Tanjiro, he's so nice, so sweet, cute, and nice. Wait, what am I thinking now? Though I didn't mind. We're back, Tanjiro announced, taking his sandals with one hand, his other carrying my sleeping nephew. We're the small ones. Looking around, I brought them some sweets and some supper for you, Miss Kamado. You didn't have to, Kai explained. It's a way to replying for your kindness, I nodded. I love Kayaka and my siblings. They're all too tired to the core, Tanjiro laughed lightly. Thank you so much, Tanjiro, but we have to get going before it gets dark. I apologized, checking the time. Do you really have to leave? Tanjiro asked sadly. The sun is setting already, Yin, Kai pouted. It's dangerous to leave in the dark, even more dangerous for Kayaku, but... Please, Yin, as a guest, please accept this. Kai cut me off. Tanjiro will lead you to your room. If by tomorrow you still wish to leave, we won't stop you. All this kindness is too overwhelming. Thank you so much for your hospitality, Miss Kamado. I gave up for the 5th time in the day. Tanjiro walking me to my room. The Kamados are such stubborn and hospitality people. So, Tanjiro said in a frigid tone, leading me to my room. How was your day so far? I love the mountain's view, and everyone is so nice. I sighed happily. Your family is such a wonderful one. I entered the room, and Tanjiro left the bags beside the door. It was a small room with sliding doors leading to the outside. A small Tommy was extended up the left side of the room's door. You can stay a little longer in here if you'd like, Tanjiro suggested. I can't keep on abusing your hospitality any further, Tanjiro. I shook my head. A night or two is fine, but not a week or longer. I'm really sure that my family and I won't mind having you around, Tanjiro said, especially my siblings. They're really wonderful kids. I admit that. I trailed off, remembering Hadako, Shiniku, and Rokuta. Then why don't you give this place a chance? Tanjiro held my hands softly in his. His hands were rough, yet so gentle. Stay at least a little longer, Yin. Maybe you can even start a new life here. I looked at our intertwined hands, then I looked at him. I read in many books that my rapid beating heart, that my fluttering chest, and my hazy mind were symptoms of love. Maybe I was love-struck.
Or maybe I trusted people too easily. Or maybe Tanju was a real nice person. Maybe it was all three, but I agreed to his proposal. I always made the right decisions, right? I'm known as the wisest, so this should be something right, something I wouldn't regret. And so, without caring about where I come from or my life I had, without caring if I was a stranger or not, with so much trust put into me and Kayaka, I was welcomed into this house of the coal cellar, Tanjiro Kamado.